All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Happy Friday to everyone out there. And what is better than a Friday with a million NBA games on the slate? We're going to jump into each and every game. I'm going to give you what I'm thinking. We'll talk about the game. I'll give you my lean. But as always, my final plays, what I'm actually going to be rolling with, will be in the pinned comment. I say it in every single video. I will say I don't go against my leans or anything like that. So what I talk about in the video is what I'm feeling about the game. But my final plays really come down to what I'm most confident in and what I'm actually putting my own money on. So keep that in mind, guys, when I differentiate like what we talk about and then what I actually end up rolling with in the final comment, in the pinned comment. Those are going to be related to what we talk about in the video here. But yeah, we got a bunch of NBA games on the slate today. Before we talk about that, I want to give a shout out to MyBookie for sponsoring today's show. MyBookie, you can use that link in the description. Use promo code GBS for a great sportsbook. I always tell you guys, have multiple sportsbook out there so you can odd shop, get 3.5 at one book, get 4 at the other, and MyBookie is another sportsbook that you can throw into your repertoire. They have a lot of cool games and cool features over there, as well as one of the biggest selections of types of plays and odds that you can check out. So make sure you head over to MyBookie, guys. Use the link in the description. Use that promo code GBS for % match deposit on your deposit there, guys. But yeah, we got a bunch to talk about today. I'm excited for it. But unfortunately, we did have a 1-in-1 personal play night last night, and we had a ride of the day did not hit, but it was a good play too. But let's jump into it, guys. We had Kevin Huerter's over in points. I'm gonna give myself the womp womp because Kevin Huerter, obviously channel Hall of Famer over here. We've been cashing with him over and over and over and over again. Ready for this? Last night, Kevin Huerter hurted us. He hurt us, so it sucks, but Kevin Huerter has clearly been someone that we've been riding with this season, and he's been cashing for us. Last night, it just did not come through, but we did have our teaser hit, which was nice. We had the Kings taking the 2-point victory there, or, in our teaser, they were -2, and then the Pistons coming through for us here. We took the teaser plus 14. They didn't necessarily really need that, did they now? So the Pistons go out there and do that, so we did hit our teaser, and unfortunately, we didn't hit our ride of the day. Our ride of the day coming in from my man Darwin here. He had Anthony Simons there. There's Simmons. I could have jumped on board with that. I think he hit that by a half point, but I chose the Bojan Bogdanovic over 2.5 threes. And you know what? Bogdanovic had a crazy game. You know what he didn't do? Hit 3 threes. He only took 4 threes, which was so unlike him. He dropped 36 points in 35 minutes, so the play was there. I love the logic from Darwin, but we do have to give our second womp womp of the video here, guys. But we are going to bounce back. We've been red hot. A 1-2 night is not going to kill us whatsoever, so I'm not worried about it. But before we get into these games, guys, I do want to talk to you about becoming a baller, guys. Ballers are the members on the channel, and you're starting to get a lot of awesome perks here. Obviously, you get the emoji next to your name. You get custom emojis in the comments as well. That's all fine and dandy. It is the #1 way to support this channel, honestly. But what we're now pumping out to ballers is pretty spectacular here. We're doing a daily update, multiple times a day. I'm updating a player points model here that's been hitting at a really good percentage this season. This season, our player points model is hitting at over 56%, 565 and 457 is the record. And then you're also getting our spread and total model, which are both in the green as well. On a daily average, our spread model is hitting at 65.6%. All that is completely visible and transparent for the ballers on the channel. So consider hitting that join button, guys. You'll get a link, if you're a baller, to the Google Sheet where you can check out this model. And again, use it as a tool in your arsenal for your research. I never say trust anything 100%, right? Don't trust it 100%. No model's going to go 100%, but what a model will do will take out 100% of the noise and the BS in your research. So make sure you hit that join button today and become a baller today, and we'll give some ballers shout outs at the end of this video because I love doing that. But guys, it's been a few minutes. Should we get into the damn games? Holy crap, I feel like I'm already out of breath and we haven't even talked about a single game yet. So let's jump into this here. The first game on the slate here that we're looking at, and I have updated lines on my screen, so if anything differs in the graphic, it's not going to differ that much, but I do want to call that out because we got a comment last video being like I was talking about a 2.5 spread and it was actually 3. we got to make do with what we got over here. So I just want to call that out. But all right, let's jump into it. Miami taking on Washington here. Miami getting a point on the road. When you look at the injury report, there are a lot of names on the injury report for Miami. Tyler Herro still out. Bam Adebayo is questionable. Caleb Martin is questionable. Dedmon is questionable as well. For Washington, no new injuries here. So that is why that spread turns to Washington's favor here, -1. I will say, if you give me a Jimmy Butler team, regardless of Bam Adebayo or anything like that, I do still think that Miami has what it takes to cover this game. It scares me. Miami 3-12 against the spread this season. They have been absolutely god awful against the spread this season. On the road, they're 1-4 against the spread. That's both their straight up record and their against the spread record. So I might be kind of crazy here, but I am going to be looking at Miami in this one. Minus the 1 point. I know they do have the issues there with the injuries, but I'm gonna lean Miami here. And I'm also gonna look at the over in this one as well. The total is 218, but I'm gonna lean Miami and the over. Make sure to keep an eye on the pinned comment to see if that becomes a final play, as always. All right, let's jump into the next game here. We have Milwaukee taking on Philly, which I think is going to be a pretty good game. Philly 1.5 point favorites here at home. Again, I go to the injury report because I'm like, all right, what's going on here? Jrue Holiday questionable. Chris Middleton still obviously out. Then you have Ingles, Connaughton downgraded to out, and Grayson Allen questionable here. Wesley Matthews downgraded to out. For Philly, Matisse Thybulle upgraded to probable, and Korkmaz is upgraded here to probable as well. So you know what? I like the Bucks. You're gonna give me Giannis Antetokounmpo, just nailed that spelling by the way, or pronunciation, as underdogs here. I know they're on the road, but I think that the a Giannis-led Bucks team, regardless of Jrue Holiday, regardless of what's his name, Chris Middleton being out for a long time here, I still like Giannis in this game. So I'm gonna lean the Bucks. To be completely honest, this is probably a game that I stay away from and just can enjoy as a true basketball fan, but I do lean the Bucks here. Last time they played, which was earlier this season, the Bucks won by 2 points, and then last season they won their final bout as well, 118-116. So they're gonna play close games. That's why I'm leaning, I think, the team that I think is the better team, but also getting the points. But that's why I want to fully tell you transparently that I don't completely love this game from a betting perspective anyways, but I think I love it as a damn good spectator perspective here. All right, we got the Cavs taking on the Charlotte Hornets here. Cavs 9.5 point favorites, 220.5 is the total. This Cavs team coming back down to earth a little bit. I would say 8-6 now straight up, and 8-6 against the spread, as they have dropped 5 games in a row money line, and then 5 games in a row against the spread. Charlotte, on the other hand, has been kind of a roller coaster here. Against the spread, loss, win in their last 4 here. They have a lot of injuries to note. Gordon Hayward doubtful, Dennis Smith Jr. doubtful, LaMelo Ball now downgraded to out, but for Cleveland, Jared Allen's questionable here, and Cleveland's getting a lot of points, 9.5 in this one, and this is where, you know what, I might be crazy, but Charlotte, we seem to have a good read on this season. They're only 6-10 against the spread, but I feel like when we take them, we're like 3-1 against the spread with them. So I'm gonna take the big number here and take Charlotte 9.5 on the road here against the spread. They're actually a positive team against the spread on the road here, 5-4 against the spread, and they're getting those big numbers. We've talked about it before. If you're new to the channel, guys, I've kind of somehow with this dumb brain analyzed what Charlotte does when they get these big numbers, and they cover a lot of the time when they have a 9 or higher spread. In fact, they're winning some of these games outright when they have a large one. Like I believe they beat Atlanta and Golden State when they were 10.5 point underdogs, right? So I'm gonna lean Charlotte getting a lot of points here. Don't love the total on either side of this one, so I'm probably sticking away from the total. If anything, I lean over if I had a gun to my head, but luckily I don't. So let's keep the train on the tracks here. Pacers taking on the Rockets here. Pacers 5 point favorites on the road, 236.5 is the total. A decently high total here, but rightfully so. Like I think that these two teams can kind of score, but also not play much defense. That being said, I don't necessarily see a lot of baskets made in this game. So to contradict what I just said, I do like the under in this one because it is such a high number. I doubt that I'll actually be pulling the trigger on it. But what I do like is Indiana -5. They're 8-0 in their last 8 games against the spread here. So I like Indiana in the under, but I definitely like Indiana -5 a lot more than I do the total. Oklahoma taking on Memphis here. Oklahoma getting 6 points on the road. Memphis 9-6 straight up this season. Oklahoma, the Rumbling covering Thunder, are getting back to those covering ways here. In their last 4 games, they've covered 4 straight times. Memphis, on the other end, has dropped a couple in a row in terms of covering and straight up here. They were just brief underdogs, I believe, to Washington and the Pelicans. They lose both of those games by a decent chunk of points. So Memphis not really feeling too great about themselves. Danny Green out. They still don't have Desmond Bane. I think he has a foot injury or something like that. OKC, no Darius Bazley or Trey Mann. If I'm not mistaken, they missed their last game as well. I lean OKC. Now, I think Memphis wins this game, which you guys know that I've been hammering OKC. In fact, we have a Rumbling Cover and Thunder shirt on the website now, GuyBostonSports.com/store. Go check it out. I lean OKC, but I hate copping out like this, but I probably leave it at a lean. I like OKC in this. They've been surprising a lot of people, but would it surprise me if the Grizzlies came out and won 120 to 105? Not remotely. So I lean OKC big time in this one, but unfortunately I think I do just lean it at a lean. Who knows where the night takes us? Check out the pin comment later on, but I lean OKC +6, not touching the total in this one. Chicago, 8.5-point favorites against Orlando in this game. This Orlando team, man, has been a little surprising. 6-7-2 against the spread on the year, but what they've done as of late has seemed to be pretty cool. I mean, not as of late. I think that, you know, they've had a couple tough games dating back to Charlotte and then Minnesota, but they beat Dallas. They beat the Suns. They beat Golden State. Like this Orlando team can somehow just turn it on and flip the switch. In Chicago, I told you last video that, or I told you, I think like 2 weeks ago, I feel like, oh, Chicago's about to get it going. Wrong. Chicago has lost 3 straight, and they've lost 3 straight against the spread, all as underdogs. So, you know, I missed the mark on that one. But in terms of injuries here, Cole Anthony still out, Paolo Banchero still out, Mo Wagner out, Wendell Carter Jr. actually is upgraded to probable, and same thing with Gary Harris here for Chicago. No new injuries to note there. But that is a lot of points to give this Orlando team. I don't know if I can touch it. Like, I can't pull myself to touch it. But I do think that 9.5 or 8.5 points is a decent amount. So, you know what? I'm going to say it. Screw it. We'll lean Magic here plus the 8.5 points. I think that this game probably still gets won by Chicago, if I'm being completely honest. But 8.5 points is a lot to give a Magic team, especially if you're the Chicago Bulls giving it to them. Like, the Bulls don't deserve to give this. They're 1-5 against the spread in their last 5. Like I said, they've been terrible in their last 4. So 8.5 points seems like a little bit too much for me. If you get 9 somewhere, I like it even more. All right, we got Denver taking on the Dallas Mavericks. And Mavericks, surprising, like when I saw this line come out, 9-point favorites in this one. 216 is the total here. No Jokic. Makes a lot of sense. Aaron Gordon's questionable. Jamal Murray out, and then all of a sudden the line starts to make more and more sense. If you think that I'm betting on a Denver team that doesn't have Jokic, that doesn't have Aaron Gordon, that doesn't have Jamal Murray, you are damn wrong. So I'm going to go with Dallas here minus the 9 points. The total is 216 in this game. And honestly, I think that this game goes over. I think that 216 is a super, super low number for these teams playing against each other. Now, I'll admit Dallas has been absolutely cashing on unders like it's their damn job. And so is Denver. Both these teams in the last 6 games have gone under, which for whatever reason kind of makes me think, okay, well, maybe it's time to go over in this one. Last time they played, it was an 89 to 103 game. Then it was a 101 to 111 game. The time before that, 106 to 75. Like, at some point, these teams have to both score 110 points, right? So I think that I like the over in this one strictly because of where all the money and all the public is on the under. I kind of want to, I guess, be the contrarian in that aspect that, you know, these are 2 teams like Denver is going to be way different than they normally are. So I wouldn't trust any of their trends. And Dallas at some point has too much scoring or talent to be able to continue to score like 3 points a game. So I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below if I'm an absolute psycho, but I do like the over in this game. All right, moving on, my Boston Celtics, 2.5-point favorites here on the road against the Pelicans. Boston, I mean, I'm proud to say maybe one of the best teams in the NBA. That's not a maybe the best team in the NBA as of right now, in my humble Boston Celtics opinion. But Marcus Smart's questionable here. Looks like Malcolm Brogdon's going to play, though. Zion is also questionable, so big time to keep an eye on that. But this Celtics team has won 9 out of the last 10 games here against the spread here. They're 12-3 straight up, and they're 8-7 against the spread on the season. On the road, they're 4-4 against the spread. I like this Celtics team. I think that 2.5 points is completely fair, so I'm going to lean that way. I tell you guys all the time, I'm biased towards the Celtics when it comes to if I want to bet on them or not, but I don't bet on the Celtics every single game. So if I'm saying I lean Celtics -2.5, like I did when they played the Hawks a couple nights back, it's because I like that spot for them. It's not because I'm a Celtics fan. Like if I don't like the Celtics in a game, hand up, I won't bet against them. I won't. I'm a stupid fan in that way. You know what I mean? Like people can say what they want, but I tell you guys transparently, I won't bet against the Celtics. But if I like the spot, I will bet on them. So I am betting on the Celtics tonight, most likely. Keep an eye on the pinned comment there, -2.5. Next up, we have the Suns taking on the Jazz here. Jazz getting 1.5 against the Suns here. Jazz still a surprising season, 10-6 against the spread. They kind of screwed us over last game against New York here. Chris Paul is questionable. For Utah, Rudy Gay is out. He's been out for a little while, if I'm not mistaken. But Phoenix, I do think that they kind of take the win against Golden State here. They've beat Golden State a couple times this season, and I figured that would happen. Just knowing that they lost to Miami in such dramatic fashion a couple games back, they take Golden State 130 to 119. I think that they carry that momentum in and beat Utah tonight as well. So I'm going to go with Phoenix here, -1.5. All right, next game on the slate, we got the New York Knickerbockers taking on the Golden State Warriors. Why did the Knicks should have kept their full name there? I mean, maybe not. Maybe that's a tough one to say and tough one to be like, oh, I'm a fan of that. Like, no. But either way, New York Knicks taking on the Golden State Warriors here. Knicks getting 7 points in this one, and again, they're coming off that win against Utah, in which, you know, probably a lot of people were on the Utah side of things, and then they go out and play Denver 2 nights ago, if I'm not mistaken, and beat Denver outright when they were also underdogs. Golden State has dropped 2 out of their last 3. Same thing against the spread, 2 out of their last 3 here. So I think I'm going to take the Knicks in the points in this one. Do I think Golden State comes out and smashes the Knicks? There's a decent chance of that. There's like a 49% chance that happens, and a 51% chance the Knicks can keep this close. So you can see where I come out in terms of how much of a final play this has a chance to be, but I like the Knicks here plus the 7 points. I think that's just a lot of points to give. In terms of a total, my model has this going right at 233, just like the books do, so I'm sticking away from the total. All right, last game on the night, the Detroit Pistons here getting 7 points against the Lakers. The Pistons cashing for us last night, keeping that game close against the Clippers here, and the Lakers coming off of a win against Brooklyn. Now, no new injuries for Detroit, but it's obviously worth noting that 2 of their best players, Cade Cunningham and Isaiah Stewart, are injured. But if you look at the LA side of things, LeBron's questionable, Anthony Davis is questionable, Dennis Schroeder and Thomas Bryant now upgraded to probable, Juan Toscano Anderson is also questionable. So a lot of injuries to note there, but Detroit on a back-to-back. LA, who knows what's going to play? Who knows who's going to play? What I actually like in this game is going to be the under 225. I don't like a side on this game, but I like the under 225. That's probably got a chance to be a final play. And guys, that's all I have for you guys today. If you're still watching at this point in the video, let's comment Friday, Friday. One of these days, I'm going to misspell the comment word of the day. So drop Friday in the comments, guys. Let me know who stuck it out to the end of the video. And guess what? If you're also watching this, I'm not even going to put this in the text or anything like that, but on GuyBostonSports.com/store, Friday is going to be a promo code. Take 10% off of your order. Go pick up some awesome Fade Me merch. Get a sign, or is it over there? Get a sign, some Fade Me merch. Anything on GuyBostonSports.com will be at a 10% discount with the code Friday for today only. So yeah, comment Friday in the comments, guys. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.